The medical bay hummed with the quiet efficiency of automated systems, their rhythmic beeping the only sound in the sterile white chamber. Kara Lorne's eyes fluttered open for the first time in 4 months, her vision blurred and unfocused. The ceiling above her was unfamiliar, marked with the geometric patterns of Galactic Council standard architecture. Her last memory was of fire and collapsing metal, of small, frightened eyes watching her from beneath burning debris. "Patient is conscious," announced the medical AI in its emotionless tone. "Vitals, stabilizing. Cognitive function returning to baseline." Kara tried to speak, but her throat was dry, her vocal cords unused for so long. A nurse, some species she didn't recognize with translucent skin, and too many fingers hurried to her side with water. The liquid felt like salvation. "Where?" Kara managed to croak. "Where am I?" "Station Kepler 7, human," the nurse replied, its voice soft and melodic. "You have been in medical suspension for 119 standard days. You suffered severe trauma during the freighter explosion." The memories came flooding back. The cargo vessel she'd been traveling on, the sudden hull breach, the screams of passengers as oxygen vented into space. And then, the cub, a Velkin child, barely past infancy, trapped beneath a support beam that would have crushed its small body within seconds. Kara had acted on instinct, the same instinct that had defined her species since they'd first looked up at the stars with wonder and defiance. She'd thrown herself forward, her body taking the weight of the collapsing structure while she pushed the small creature to safety. She remembered the cub's high-pitched cries, its 4 eyes wide with terror. She remembered the pain as metal and fire consumed her. And then, nothing but darkness. "The cub," Kara whispered urgently, trying to sit up. Her muscles screamed in protest, atrophied from months of disuse. The Velkin child, did it survive? The nurse's expression was unreadable, but something that might have been a smile crossed its strange features. "Perhaps you should see for yourself." Before Kara could ask what that meant, the door to her medical bay slid open with a pneumatic hiss. What entered was not the small, fragile creature she remembered. The Velkin that stood in the doorway was nearly fully grown, standing at least 7 feet tall on powerful digitigrade legs. Its fur, which had been the pale gold of youth, had darkened to a rich amber shot through with distinctive black markings. 4 eyes, still so familiar, locked onto Kara with an intensity that made her breath catch. "Saren?" Kara breathed, somehow knowing the name before it was spoken. The Velkin moved forward with surprising grace for such a large being, and Kara could see its limbs trembling with barely contained emotion. In Velkin culture, as she'd learned during her travels, such displays were rare. They were a stoic species, bred for the harsh gravity and predator-filled jungles of their homeworld. They did not cry, they did not show weakness, but Saren's eyes were wet. "You remembered me," Saren said, its voice deeper than any human's, resonating in the chamber. "After all this time, you remembered." "Of course I remembered," Kara replied, her own eyes stinging with tears. "How could I forget?" Saren moved closer, and with surprising gentleness for such a formidable creature, lowered itself to kneel beside Kara's bed. One massive paw, for that's what they truly were, tipped with retractable claws that could rend steel, reached out hesitantly, then touched Kara's hand with the care one might use with the most delicate glass. "The doctors said you might not wake," Saren said quietly. "They said humans are fragile, that your body had suffered too much damage, that it would be merciful to let you go." Kara's fingers tightened around Saren's paw. "But you didn't let them." "No." The word was firm, carrying the weight of absolute conviction. "In those moments, when the ship was dying, you taught me what it means to be brave. Not Velkin brave, we are taught to face death with honor for our clan, for our bloodline. But you threw yourself into death for a stranger, for a child of another species, for no reason except that it was right." Saren's 4 eyes met Kara's too, and in that moment, the gulf between species meant nothing. "I stayed by your side," Saren continued. "Every day. My clutch mother came to take me home, to my nest world, but I refused. I told her that humans have a saying that you never abandon pack. And you made me pack when you chose to save me. Kara felt warmth spreading through her chest. A feeling that had nothing to do with the medical nanites, still repairing her tissues. You stayed for 4 months? I grew from cub to near adult in this station, Saren said, and there was pride in its voice. I learned your language, your customs. I studied everything about humans I could find. Do you know what I discovered? What? Kara asked softly. That what you did, what you are, is not unusual for your kind. Across the galaxy, in every record I could access, there are stories of humans doing impossible things. Not because you are the strongest, or the smartest, or the longest lived, but because when faced with the choice between saving yourselves and saving others, you choose others. Every time. Even when it defies logic. Even when it costs you everything. Saren's paw squeezed Kara's hand gently. The galaxy calls this foolishness. But I call it the most beautiful thing I have ever witnessed, and I will spend my life, which will be 3 times as long as yours, making sure that what you did for me is never forgotten. That is my oath, Kara Lorne. My life debt. Kara smiled, even as tears streamed down her face. You don't owe me anything, Saren. I did what any decent person would do. No, Saren replied firmly. You did what a human would do. And now I understand why the galaxy both fears and needs your species. You are hope, given form. You are proof that compassion is not weakness, but the strongest force in the universe. The Velkin leaned forward, touching its forehead to Kara's in the traditional gesture of its people, a sign of ultimate respect, given only to clan leaders and war heroes. Welcome back, Pack Sister, Saren whispered. I have much to show you. Much to teach you. And a lifetime to repay what can never truly be repaid. As Kara looked into those 4 eyes so alien, yet so familiar, she understood something fundamental about humanity's place among the stars. They were not the strongest. They were not the most advanced. But they carried something precious. The unshakable belief that every life mattered, that sacrifice for another, was not foolishness but the highest calling. And sometimes, just sometimes, the universe remembered too.